There are stories whispered in forgotten corners of Scripture. Fragments that never make their way into sermons. Mysteries too unsettling to be spoken from the pulpit. One of these secrets concerns something so ordinary, so present in kitchens and markets across the world, that its true nature is often overlooked. Garlic. For most people, garlic is nothing more than food, an ingredient to flavor meals, a natural remedy against sickness. Yet behind its pungent aroma lies a spiritual power that has lingered through centuries. Hidden in plain sight. To uncover this truth is to peel back layers of history, superstition, and biblical symbolism, until what emerges is not a mere bulb of the earth, but a weapon forged for the soul. Long before modern science praised garlic for its healing properties, ancient peoples believed it carried forces unseen. It was never regarded as just food. In Egypt, cloves of garlic were placed in tombs beside pharaohs, not simply as offerings of sustenance but as charms for protection in the afterlife. In Rome, soldiers consumed garlic before battle, convinced it gave them not only strength of body but shield of spirit. When biblical cultures encountered garlic, the perception deepened. It became a symbol of purification, of banishment, of guarding the faithful against the shadows that prowled unseen. Garlic was whispered of as a plant capable of bridging the material and spiritual worlds. What does it mean for something so humble to be called a weapon? In spiritual traditions, garlic became more than an herb. It became a defense in the invisible war that Scripture hints at again and again. The Bible speaks of principalities and powers, forces of darkness that seek to corrupt, deceive, and destroy. For the faithful, life itself is framed as a battlefield, fought not with flesh and blood, but against spirits and unseen rulers. Garlic emerged in folklore as a tangible reminder of this battle, a physical emblem of spiritual resistance. Its strong odor was thought to repel not only disease, but evil itself. Legends tell of homes marked with garlic at their doors, thresholds smeared with its essence, as if drawing a line that no unclean thing could cross. It was called the poor man's sword, a tool given to anyone who sought shelter from wickedness. Some believed that even carrying garlic on one's person created a shield, invisible yet powerful, that separated light from dark. But garlic's symbolism was not only about defense, it was about purification. Just as it cleansed the body of impurities, it was believed to cleanse the spirit of corruption. Ancient prayers sometimes invoked the imagery of garlic's burning presence, sharp, fiery, undeniable, as a metaphor for God's own protective light. To hold garlic was to hold a fragment of that divine shield, a sign that one was not abandoned to the chaos of the unseen. Its role was twofold: to expel darkness and to sanctify the space it touched. In this, garlic became not only a shield, but a vessel of blessing. The humble bulb carried echoes of a promise that the Creator could use the simplest of things to confound the proud and to guard the faithful. Curiously, the Bible does not speak of garlic at length. It is mentioned in passing, almost as if deliberately veiled. In Numbers chapter 11 verse 5, the Israelites recall the foods of Egypt, garlic among them. To most readers, it appears as nothing more than a detail in a list. Yet perhaps that is the point. The true power of garlic is hidden, waiting to be discerned by those who understand that Scripture often speaks in layers, surface words concealing deeper truths. Why would a food associated with Egypt, a land of both bondage and mystery, linger in biblical memory? Why would such an ordinary plant echo through centuries of spiritual tradition as a ward against evil? It suggests that garlic was more than nostalgia for lost meals. It was a key, a fragment of spiritual technology understood by the ancients and quietly preserved in whispers, folklore, and forgotten rites. Across cultures, the narrative remained the same. Garlic stands at the threshold between light and dark. Vampires in medieval legends shrank from its presence. Witches and malevolent spirits were said to recoil when it was near. Though these stories may sound like superstition, they echo the same belief, that garlic holds a power to repel the forces that feed on fear, deception, and destruction. The Bible warns of adversaries who prowl like lions, of spirits that seek to invade the lives of the faithful. What if garlic was one of the Creator's simplest gifts? A reminder that defense is not always found in swords and shields, but in the humble works of creation? To understand garlic's spiritual role is to embrace paradox. It is both food and weapon, ordinary and sacred, earthly and divine. Its pungent presence reminds that holiness often offends the corrupt, just as its fiery essence purges what is unclean. In spiritual symbolism, garlic becomes a mirror of faith itself, hidden, humble, yet capable of great power when wielded with conviction. It whispers a truth, that what seems weak in the eyes of the world can carry the greatest strength against the unseen. Why has this secret remained untold in churches, concealed beneath layers of history? Perhaps because garlic does not fit the tidy categories of doctrine. Perhaps because the modern world has grown too rational to see the spiritual in the mundane. Or perhaps because some truths are meant to be discovered, not preached, guarded in the shadows until a soul begins to seek. What is clear is that garlic's story stretches beyond food and medicine. It is a parable written in creation itself, a secret woven into the natural world. To the one who perceives it, garlic is no longer just an herb, it is a symbol, a shield, and a reminder that the battle between light and darkness is real. And in that battle, even the simplest things can become sacred. Every clove of garlic carries a whisper of the ancient. It speaks of Egypt's tombs, of Roman soldiers, of biblical wanderers, of households that stood unbroken because the threshold was guarded. It speaks of purity, of protection, of a mystery that still lingers in its sharp scent. Perhaps that is the true secret. Garlic has always been more than it appears. It is the common made extraordinary, the humble raised to holy use. It is a silent witness to the truth that God often hides power in the smallest of things. And as long as the unseen war continues, garlic will remain a symbol, humble, hidden, and powerful, of the light that still defends against the dark.